If you've ever wondered whether you need a headshot session or a brand photography session, you're not alone. It's a question I get asked probably the most, and the answer matters more than people think. Because getting the wrong one means spending money on photos you won't actually use in your marketing. Hey, I'm Jen. I'm a brand photographer and marketing strategist for female service providers. And today I am going to be breaking down one of the most common questions I get before someone books a branding session. What is the difference between a headshot and brand photography? And which one do you actually need? Because these are not the same thing. And understanding the difference could actually save you a ton of money, time, and even frustration. Before I dive in, if you're at that point where you know that you want brand visuals that actually work in your marketing and want to explore working together, you can book a discovery call. It's totally free. It's a short conversation to see if we're aligned. I'm in the Bay Area, but I also travel the entire United States. A headshot is exactly what it sounds like. Right here. It's a professional photo, usually shoulders and up or waist and up, that show your face clearly and cleanly. It is typically what people use for a profile image or something on LinkedIn, or if you're going to be a speaker somewhere, those are headshots. Headshots are great for, as I mentioned, LinkedIn profiles, speaking bios, and event pages, press features, or media kits where someone just needs a clean professional photo of you, like directory listings. A headshot says, here's who I am, here's my face, I'm a professional. And that's genuinely useful. There are absolutely places where a headshot is exactly what is needed. But here's where people tend to go wrong. They book a headshot session, get one or two solid photos, because that's very typical in a headshot session. You get one, sometimes I see two, sometimes I see three images. And then I see people trying to use those same couple images to run their entire marketing presence. And it doesn't really work because a headshot was not designed for that. Brand photography is a full visual library built specifically for marketing. It includes images of you, but also images that tell a story of your business, right? What does it look like to work with you? What's your environment? What's your process? What's your personality? What props or tools or settings are part of your brand world? Brand photography gives you website hero images, Pinterest pins across multiple topics, email header photos that you can use every single week, social media content for months, launch graphics, podcast cover art. Brand photography is designed to be used everywhere, repurposed easily, and feel really cohesive. A headshot says, here's who I am. And brand photography photos say, here's who I am, what I do, how I work, and why you should trust me. Here's what I see happening all the time. Someone books a headshot session because they think that's what they need and or they're trying to save money, which I totally get. They spend a few $100s to get that photo or a couple photos, feel good for maybe a week, and then they sit down to write their next Instagram post or create a Pinterest pin and realize that they have nothing to use. The headshot does not fit their vibe. There's no variety. There's no lifestyle type images. There's really nothing that actually shows their work or their personality in context. So they go back to using their iPhone, or they post inconsistently because they just don't have anything that feels quite right. That's not a photography problem. That's a strategy problem. And it's one of the reasons that I plan every single session around the client's marketing goals and business goals before we ever pick up a camera. A simple way to know is to ask yourself this one question. What am I actually going to be using these photos for? And what could I use these photos for? If the answer is LinkedIn, or a speaking bio, or a media kit, or the back of a book, a headshot might be exactly right. If the answer is my website, my Pinterest, my emails, my social content, my launches, then you absolutely need brand photography. And honestly, most service providers who ask me this question need brand photography because they're building a business online, and that requires a visual presence that goes way beyond one clean headshot photo. And let me give you an example. I have a client who, she is not the face of the business, and she was very clear with that. Now, of course, in her brand photography session, I still got some headshots, right? Because you still want to make sure you have those in your back pocket in case you get asked to speak somewhere or what have you. But what she did was she needed seasonal photos so that she could be online on social media when she needs to be. And so what we did was we did sort of every holiday that she had, and we did different photos for that. And even down to having popcorn pop and having a bunch of movies like laying there. So really, first of all, she's so smart to know this. She came to me first with this idea, and then I forced her to take some photos of herself. But she now has these photos that she's been using for 2 years. 2 years. So it's really important that you get photos that you can use long term. And also that you could use to describe your personality, right? Some of my clients want to bring champagne and, pop the cork and cheers because they want celebration photos. Some people want to do throwing confetti to signify celebration. Some people bring their children for their brand photo shoots because their children are an integral part of their business. They're either teaching children something, so they bring their children to play. One of my clients was doing laundry on the ground, folding laundry literally for her photo shoot, playing with the cards that she created. They're food education cards, learning how to eat starting from a young age. And these photos are going to stand the test of time. Obviously, when our kids get older, maybe not, but these photos will be great because that's around and specific for her business and what she's talking about on social media. Just thinking about what you're gonna share on social media will give you a ton of ideas. That's kind of the questions that I ask when I decide to work with you. Not every photographer who says they do brand photography actually approaches the planning from a marketing angle. And I think that's the very first thing that you should do. You want to make sure that you're going to look for a photographer who asks about your marketing goals before your session, not just your outfit choices, right? Someone who plans a shot list that matches how you actually use content. Thinking about variety, horizontal, vertical, and even photos that have a ton of space on one side so you can put text over them, and detailed shots. Like oftentimes I'll take photos of just books that my clients love so that they can use that photo to talk about those things. Basically, lifestyle moments. And not all photographers deliver images that work across multiple platforms, not just one beautiful hero image. And also, I deliver how to use the photos. I give so many ideas. After, when I deliver the gallery, I send basically a strategy on how to use those photos as well. Because the photos should make content marketing easier. If they don't, then something was missing in the planning. At Jen Vasquez Media, every brand session starts with a marketing conversation, which throws my clients oftentimes for a loop a little bit. Things like, where are you showing up? What do you need your images for? What's coming up in your business? What launches do you have? Do you have a new program that you're launching? Are you getting a rebrand, which is when I see most clients, because anybody building a new brand or a new website will typically tell you you need new photos, and they'll tell you sometimes even what photos that you should get. So we plan the session around those answers so that you leave with images that you can actually use, not just images that look pretty, although they will be, in a gallery that you never open. Because pretty does not book clients, strategy does. The goal of brand photography isn't beautiful images. It's usable images that make your marketing easier, help you attract the right clients, and make it easy to show up online because you've got the perfect image to talk about whatever it is in your business. And if you're curious how brand photography fits into your overall marketing system, not just as a one-off piece of content, but as the content engine behind your whole workflow, I'm going to go really deep on that in another video at the end of May. We're going to talk about how to plan your sessions around your content calendar, how to repurpose brand images on Pinterest, and how the right visual library makes showing up online so much easier. I'll see you next week.